Did God create sin? The short answer to this question is no. Some people, though, assert that if he's God, then he made everything, therefore he also made sin. But this is a contradiction. There are some things that God can't do. The Bible clearly says that he cannot lie. It's also clear that he can't make a square circle or a married bachelor, because both of those things are logical contradictions. So then someone might object by saying that since there's something he can't do, then he's not really omnipotent, and so therefore he's not God. But this is a misunderstanding of what omnipotence means. For God to be omnipotent means that he's all-powerful, which means he can do anything power can do. But there's no reason to think that power can violate the laws of logic. So there isn't an issue. But what about the sin part? Is it a contradiction that God can't sin or create sin? Not at all, because he's perfect. So it would be a contradiction if he could create sin, because then he wouldn't be perfect. This is also like when people try and say that if God can't change his mind, isn't that a flaw? Well, of course not, because since he is all-knowing, he doesn't need to change his mind. He already knows everything. It's a strength, not a weakness. So then how do we resolve the issue of sin being in the world if God didn't create it? I would argue that the answer to this question is laid out very clearly in the first few chapters of the Bible. But let me go ahead and explain. God didn't create sin, but he did create us with the potential to choose to commit sin. And that potential, of course, was us being able to exercise our free will to do so. However, that potential had to be there, otherwise we wouldn't really be free creatures. Because really all sin is when we choose to go against God, against his nature, because he himself is the standard of morality. So if we choose to go against that standard, then we are committing sin. And that is how sin came into the world. Man brought it in, just like it says in Romans 5:12. Wherefore, as by one man's sin entered the world, and death by sin, and so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. But then one could ask, why would God create a world where man would choose to sin? Well, it could be that there can't be a world with free creatures where they don't choose to sin. And of course, God in his omniscience would know that. Well, guys, that's the video. So let me know what you think, and remember to like and subscribe.